Good morning and welcome to Faith on the Ground. I'm your host, Ian Velasquez. We're just here shining a light on what God is doing through just real people in real ministry right now. And I wanted to introduce Mr. Kevin Corley on the show. I'm excited to have you on here, man.
I'm excited to be here.
A long time waiting for you to come on. And Mr. Kevin Corley, or Pastor Kevin Corley is here. You were with Grace Fellowship here in Clanton.
Yep.
Man, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm the pastor at Grace Fellowship. We moved here in 2011.
Okay.
I came originally as the assistant pastor at Grace, and then when my predecessor moved on, the church decided to call me as the pastor.
There you go.
So, sometimes it feels like a promotion, and other times. But no, I'm married to Rebecca. And we have three boys, Weston, William, and Knox. Our oldest is a junior at Chilton County High School.
That's crazy.
Soccer player. So that's how we really have gotten to know one another.
Yeah.
In the press box at soccer games.
Freezing to death.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Freezing and then sweating.
Yeah. Depending on what Alabama wants to be.
Yeah, and
it's
then
crazy.
Our second William is 15, and he and my youngest son Knox are both homeschooled. Knox is 12. So yeah, we are fully. I don't know that we're fully into teenagehood, but I mean we're 2/3 of the way there,
much.
with the third on the way. So,
Golly.
Yeah.
That happened so quick.
It did.
Just for the time that I've known you. Oh, man.
Yeah, it did.
That's wild. But man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And, man, it's funny. The first time I met Kevin, we were talking. I don't know how we got on the subject of band, but we both played, not together, but played sousaphone in a college marching band.
That's right.
And you were at Alabama.
Yep.
And I'm just like, that's crazy.
Played tuba in
we were like, whoa.
The University of Alabama $1 million band.
University of Alabama Tuscaloosa. What a time. But yeah, no. So, man, no. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Absolutely.
And let's just jump into it. So, Kevin, how did you just first feel called into ministry?
Yeah. So I felt probably the initial call to ministry when I was first converted. So
Okay.
I grew up in a church-going home, but not a believing home.
Yeah.
Pretty typical in the South.
Yeah.
And then when my family kind of fell apart when I was in high school, I decided that was a good time to leave the church. It seemed like a bunch of fiction and hypocrisy, and so I was like, I'm just going to go live for myself. And it wasn't until I was in college at Alabama, so good things.
Yeah.
Jesus is at work in Tuscaloosa, believe it or not. But I came to know the Lord there. God just impressed me with a sense of my own sinfulness and my own need. Mm-hmm. And sitting across the table from a campus minister whose name was Billy Joseph, he asked me, "What is it that makes you a Christian?" And I would say up until that point that my understanding of Christianity was you pray a prayer and Jesus breaks you even, and then it's up to me to keep my nose clean.
Yeah.
And so when Billy asked me that question, my first response was something like, "Well, you read the Bible." Mm-hmm. And he said, No, that's not what makes you a Christian. I said, "Okay, well, I'm trying to pray more." He said, "Nope, that's not what makes you a Christian." I said, "Going to church now?" Like at this point, I've gotten the answer wrong several times.
Right.
And finally, he just said, "No, Christ alone is what or who makes you a Christian." And he explained to me the gospel of grace, that we are saved by grace through faith in Christ alone, with nothing that we contribute to that.
Yeah.
That was the first time. It may not have been the first time that I heard that message.
Yeah.
I may have heard it when I was younger, but I didn't have ears to hear it. But that was the first time that I really heard that message. And it was like the lights came on, the door swung open, and I was like, "Oh, that's what it means."
It just all clicked.
That's right. Yeah. And it was at that moment, I don't know that I would have said, "Yeah, I want to go be a pastor. I want to be a pulpit preacher."
Right.
But it was in that moment that I was like, this is the best news ever.
Yeah.
I want to spend the rest of my life telling people this good news.
That's good.
So that was where the call to ministry kind of started, and then just developed. After college, I was involved in youth ministry.
Yeah.
And still didn't really have a great desire to be a pulpit preacher. But then got married, went on to seminary, and it was kind of as I got more comfortable with the Bible and understanding the Bible and theology, then I was like, okay, maybe this is an area where God can use me. So
that's awesome. That's so cool. I think what's crazy is a lot of people that I've met is in that just time frame of just when you go off to college, and I don't know, at least that was for me when everything just fully clicked.
Yeah.
And I had that time to where I was just like, no, this is something bigger than what I've fully just kind of understood. And at least for me, I took that time just to say, no, I had that campus minister that was just like, that wanted to invest in my life.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't an immediate, like, I'm going to do something in ministry, but it was something where I was just like, I think I understand this now.
Yeah.
And so, no, that's awesome. And so looking at this, you came into ministry, and it's just been it sounds like it's just been a process. Like you've just been kind of going through.
Absolutely.
But what was a moment, like it might have been in the youth ministry, I don't know, which is crazy. But just confirmed you, or even where you're at now, just confirmed you were right where God wanted you to be.
Yeah.
Doing this ministry.
Yeah. That's a great question. And I think there've been those little things all along, but as I was trying to think about that, at least one moment that came to mind, and this was only just a few years. That was only a few years ago, so that doesn't mean there weren't other confirmations along the way. Was I was on the phone with that former church in Mississippi where I served as a youth director.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys that a couple of my students when I was there, of course, they're now adults. But they were being nominated and elected to and ordained as elders in the church.
Wow.
And so they had other influences. There were other godly pastors who invested in them, but it was just kind of one of those moments. It was like, okay, like there is some fruit here.
You got to see them grow.
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah. No, that's huge.
Yeah. So that would be so that'd be one of those.
I love
one of those moments. Yeah.
No, that's great. And isn't it so cool? And it's not even students. It could be just people in your congregation in general, just how they kind of just grow in their faith. Man.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest things to where those students become elders in the church. Like, and to be able to see, it's not us, right? But it's just to be able to see them, like we help kind of plant those seeds, into where they're growing in that way. No, that's so cool. I love that. And so where you're at now at Grace, what's just the heartbeat just behind your ministry and what you do right now? Yeah.
So in lots of ways, the way that I came to know Christ is the same way that we practice ministry now. So that sitting across the table, life on life, relational investment, like that's what I want us to be about and do. And the good one of the good things about that is it's really simple.
Yeah.
We don't have to have fireworks shows and huge events and all of those things. Really, the heartbeat of what we do is this right here.
Connection.
Yep. I say it so much that our leaders are probably like, "Oh, really? We get it. Please stop saying that." But it's one of those things that every organization drifts from its mission if you don't regularly and routinely put it in front of people, and I need to be reminded of that myself.
Yeah.
But that it really comes down to word and relationships.
Yeah.
And speaking the word in relationship with other people.
No, that's great. And that's one of those things. I'm one of those folks to where like I love building relationships. I love sitting down, especially like if we have hey, let's go grab lunch or something.
Yeah.
That's one of those times because you just get to find out a little bit more about that person, but also you get to disciple them in that way. And this is not one of the questions I sent, but I just want to kind of keep going off of this. So when you are taking that time and you're sitting down with somebody, how do you continue to steer the direction towards Christ in the conversations that you have? Because I think this isn't just me. I think this is something for a lot of folks that happen. Like, we make it about the fellowship, which is great, which is awesome, and I love it because, like I said, I like being around people and I could talk to a wall. But it's one of those things. How do you continue to steer it towards that conversation on Christ?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Usually, I have the benefit of, like, if people are sitting down with me, there's usually some expectation that
he's gonna bring it up.
I'm gonna ask some spiritual questions. And even it's a little bit disarming that on the front end, like, I don't ask spiritual questions, like we just talk about
whatever,
normal life things.
Yeah.
And usually what I'm doing is, and I got this from a mentor of mine. So the simplest answer is I just try to ask lots of questions.
Yeah.
But from a mentor of mine, he would talk about, you're walking around the block looking for manhole covers, places where, that person's willing to kind of let you get a little bit deeper.
Right.
And so once you find one, you try to open it and climb down to the next level, and then you start walking around again looking for the next manhole cover. Sometimes that goes well, and sometimes, you're stuck talking about football.
Right.
So, and it's like, okay, that's not the end of the world.
Right. No, I love it. No, I just want to ask that because I love having those conversations on that, and I like to try to make sure when I do sit down I like that analogy though, the manhole cover thing on that. That's really neat
because we're really trying to get to the heart,
right?
And so there's some, you just kind of learn over time to ask good questions that really get at the motives, at the heart of what's going on under the hood.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's great. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back after this, just talking about just a little bit more of just ministry in motion for Pastor Kevin, and we'll go on after that. So we'll be back right after this.
Workout Anytime in Clanton is now open. Your fitness, your schedule. We have top-of-the-line treadmills and weights, but we are more than just a gym. We bring luxury and results to your fitness routine. Relax in our sauna. Recharge with red light therapy. Refresh in our hydro massage beds. Get that glow with unlimited tanning and push your limits with dynamic classes. Need guidance? Our personal trainers are here to help you set your goals, stay motivated, and get real results. This is your space, your time, your transformation. Open 24/7. Workout Anytime, now open in Clanton.
Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underrated.
We are back with Faith on the Ground here with Kevin Corley at Grace Fellowship. So jumping into this next segment, it's called Ministry in Motion. What is something in your ministry right now that you were just pumped about, that you're really excited about?
So it's an exciting time at our church. We've we've had to do a couple of renovations just in the past few years to increase worship space. We keep seeing new faces. That creates its own issues, because then it's like, all right, what's next? We've only got so many walls,
right?
And so that's exciting and challenging at the same time. I think right now we're doing another new members class, and it's full.
Yeah.
And maybe even more. I don't know that you'd say more exciting than that, but we're training new officers. So we have the formal leaders in our church are elders and deacons.
Okay.
And we're doing a new officer training coming up in January to ordain new guys to leadership, which is great. And I think exciting, even in that, is that a number of those guys are younger guys. And so it's huge. It's exciting to see God at work, to see people hungry.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah,
at the moment.
for sure. No, just to have, I think, to be able to have just younger folks coming in and wanting to be a part of that, I think is huge.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things to where, we try to just kind of build off that as well.
Yeah.
And man, I've been seeing where y'all been renovating, doing all sorts of stuff over there too. And so I know that y'all are just busting at the seams basically.
Yeah.
Over there. So
so if anybody has, a few million on hand, they're just looking to
get
rid of.
Looks directly in the camera.
I can tell you where you can give it.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome, man. I'm excited to see where all that goes for sure. No. But what can you share just a recent God moment that you've seen just through your work or through your ministry?
I tried to think of some specific ones. I can think of 3 guys in the past few years, 3 men that have been converted and come to know the Lord. I mean, we're appreciative. We're thankful for every person that God brings to our church. And I'd say most of our growth comes from transfer growth, people coming from other churches, but at the same time, getting to see guys where it clicks, just like I did for me that day. They hear the gospel and they go, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I want to believe that. And so to me, those are the greatest God moments.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of sitting on the front row.
Just getting to see it.
That's right.
See it all happen.
That's right.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah.
And that's cool just to be able to, you see that growth in action too.
Yep.
Because I guess those people will grow and become those leaders in your church as well, or maybe they have become leaders in your church.
Yeah.
And just to see it click, and so this might sound kind of like the same question, but have you just seen God move in any just unexpected ways lately? Just to where it's just like, man, that came out of nowhere. Okay.
When I would try to think through that one, and I don't know that anything came to mind right off the bat. In some ways, some of those conversations are completely unexpected. Where you just kind of expect, like, well, everybody's heard about Jesus,
right?
Though I think even based on my own experience and over the past, I'm 45 now, so over 20 years of which is, I realize, is not a very long time in the grand scheme of things. You realize that a lot of people have heard about Jesus, but actually haven't placed their trust in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's always a delight and even a surprise when somebody, because it's easy to get cynical, and be like, am I doing any good here whatsoever?
Yeah.
And then you have that guy come along and be like, okay, God has gotten a hold of my heart, and I want to grow.
Right.
I'm hungry, so it's surprising. But in one sense, I'm always praying and looking for those at the same time.
Right.
So I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And I think that's one of those, we kind of get in that, maybe not a rut, but just in that place of like what you said. Oh, well, everybody's just heard about Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And we just we're just like, oh, wait a minute, this person has never experienced this, never been around it. And I think that's something that I've seen we've done some stuff in youth to where we've had some kids come to youth that have never gone to church, that have never experienced this in their life. And I'm just like, okay, this is the first time you're around here. Let's see. Let me share this with you. And so I think that's been one of those things to where it's really, I don't want to say really cool, but just a really great thing to see, just where God's just working in that way. Kind of like you said, just like, hey, no. And I think I try to put God moment in unexpected ways, because that's just one of those things to where it's just like, I feel like God is just kind of just saying, hey, look at this, man. Like, look at how, and you get to just see him move in that way. I think is what's really cool.
Yeah. And we want to create framework. One image I use, and I get it from a book called The Trellis and the Vine, but we want to create trellises on which the vine can grow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's always this kind of unexpected delight and surprise, and like, oh, look,
wait a
the
minute.
vine grew,
It's actually happening.
It's happening. It's really happening. Yeah.
No, man, that's awesome. And so we're going to keep going through this next segment. This is one that's just more personal and real, that I wanted to look at. But what is just a spiritual lesson that God's just been teaching you recently?
Yeah. I think I regularly confronted just with my own limitations and inadequacy.
Okay.
And just learning to embrace those limits.
Yeah.
That I don't have to be omnicompetent, good at everything. I'm not all powerful.
Yeah.
I can't make people do anything. I can persuade, I can encourage, I can call. But I really, there's a point at which I have to stop.
Yeah.
And I'm going beyond what really belongs to me into what belongs to God, or maybe what belongs to someone else. Right. So I can want life change. I can want life change for somebody else, but if they're not wanting it,
right,
or they're not interested, it's just kind of like, okay, I can lose a lot of sleep over that. Or I can just say, "Hey, that's
all right.
That's the ball is in your court."
What's the old saying? Like, you can lead a horse to water,
but you can't make him drink. Right.
That's like, I mean, honestly,
yeah,
yeah. And do you think that's something that you've dealt with for, like, not dealt with for a while, but just like, I think that's something that maybe a lot of ministry leaders do kind of think about. It's just like, okay, we're trying to bring this person to know who Christ is, or convert them in that way, but also realize that, hey, we can't do that for you, you know? So
you realize, like, one of the images I use for our leaders is talking about, I can serve the ball over the net, and I'll gladly serve it a few times, but if you're not going to hit the ball back over, if you're not going to return the serve, well, I'm going to go serve the ball over another net,
right?
And yet having to learn that over time, that, like, okay,
right.
And there's two ditches to avoid. One is that over-functioning, I am the Messiah, I must do all of this.
Yeah.
The other side of that, and I think this is a real problem too, is that pastoral laziness. Kind of like, people joke, you just work one day a week,
right?
And so you want to avoid that laziness ditch as well, and just be like, well, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna show up and phone it in, 2 or 3 days a week, and then let everybody else take care of everything else. So you want to keep it between those two ditches.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you mentioned this of just kind of being everything for everyone as well, or something in that nature.
Yeah.
And then, like, what was it? Competent.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things we try to take on everything,
Right.
How have you just kind of had to overcome that thought of just like, oh, I have to be better at, like, not be better, but take hold of all these different things? Is it like taking a time to let other people serve in that way, or just, the
realization that of all of the things, all of the jobs that need to be done at Grace Fellowship, there are only 2 that only I can do.
Right.
And now we have Zach on staff, so actually technically he can do these as well. But the only two that just a pastor can do is preach regularly and administer the sacraments.
Yeah.
So that means every other job and every other form of ministry can be done by someone else.
Yeah.
And even really looking at Ephesians 4:11 and 12, where it says that God gives pastors and teachers to the church to equip the saints for the work of ministry.
Yeah.
And so my job is not necessarily to do all the ministry, but to equip God's people to do the ministry.
That's good.
So,
yeah. No, and that's huge. And I think that's something that every ministry leader can kind of just really look at. Because I think one thing that I've been guilty of is, and I did not used to be like this, is to where it was like, I have to do it or it's not going to be done the way I think it needs to be done. And so, which is a huge step. You can ask anyone from back in the day. I was just pretty lazy in that sense. But now it's just like, I want it to be done correctly or the way that I think it needs to be done. And so I think what's been really cool is taking a step back and just saying, hey, I have these awesome leaders or members or whatever that can definitely do this, and equipping them to be able to do those different things is really cool. And so, no, I love it. I love it. That was so good.
You have to be, as you said, you have to be comfortable with, and I forget where I heard this, but if you're going to delegate something, you have to be comfortable with it being done at about 60% of what you would want it to be done.
Yeah.
Like I would want it done this way.
Right.
But again, I'm not omnicompetent. This doesn't all belong to me. So I'm going to have to be okay with it being done. I'll give some guidance and direction.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's where, when it comes into asking someone or a member or whoever to do something like that, how we equip them, I think matters so much. And if it's our vision for something, we equip them with, all right, this is how this needs to be done.
Yeah.
We know you can take this and absolutely kill it at it. So no, I love it. And so kind of switching up off of that one, what is just something that just keeps you encouraged on the hard days or on difficult days? Because we have those some days.
Some days. Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah. God is at work. So even when I can't see him at work, and thankfully, he's giving indications all along the way. So I mentioned earlier that moment when I was on that phone call and heard that some of the students that I'd worked with were now serving in the church as leaders.
Yeah.
That actually came at a particularly difficult season. I was on the, I can't remember at that point whether I was on the verge of burnout, in the middle of burnout, or coming out of burnout.
Yeah.
But that was a difficult season, and so that God used that as kind of an encouragement in the midst of that season. Like, hey, I'm at work.
Yeah.
Even 20 some odd years later, I've been at work for a lot longer than that. But yeah.
No, that's great. I think that's a God moment right there. As well, just in that sense, just because I think in those difficult times, just for God to just be like, hey, look at this. I'm still working, Yeah. No, that's great. So changing up, like complete 180. Just some fun questions. What is a hobby that you are just really into right now?
I don't have hobbies, Ian. I'm just kidding.
No. I knew it. No. I knew it. No.
So oddly enough, because you really can't tell by looking at me, fitness.
Yes.
Not just getting in the gym, but I listen to fitness podcasts and watch.
Do you really?
It's weird, man.
Let's go.
But from the perspective of longevity, flexibility, durability, when you walk with people whose bodies are failing,
right?
You're just like, okay, how do I live in such a way now that prolongs and makes me more useful later?
Right.
That's kind of
no, that's awesome.
When I can make the time for it, I like playing pickleball.
Oh yeah,
so,
come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but
it's. I remember when it first started, that just craze of pickleball, and I mean everybody was in it, man. But no, pickleball's great. We've done that a couple times with youth, and it was always fun. So, who was it that I went out there one time? I went out with, it was me and Mary Catherine or somebody, and Jason.
yeah.
Oh, what's his last name?
Harley.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Dude. I was like, I'm pretty sure every time I go out there, either with youth or anything, I see him out there playing pickleball.
Yeah,
I'm like,
odds are he's there.
dude's a pro.
Yeah, he is
but,
a pro.
But no, that's awesome. And I love the fitness podcast, dude. Tell me what entails in a fitness podcast.
Okay, so
like how you work out, or just like, or
more of it is behind like the psychology and thinking behind it. So like one that I listen to is called the Ready State podcast.
Oh.
But it's a doctor of physical therapy and his wife. They have a practice, I think, somewhere in Colorado. But they just talk about being more durable people.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're Jesus followers or anything
Right.
like that. But it's just kind of interesting to get into the science of fitness and like how we're made to work.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's a very fun hobby. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. If you could sit down with any biblical figure besides Jesus, who would it be and why?
So I was thinking about that this morning. I preached through Ezekiel this past year.
Okay.
And so I think I'd want to sit down with Ezekiel.
Okay.
Because man, God put him through the ringer.
Yeah.
The things he saw, the things he had to do, I just would be like, okay, give me, like I know I know the outward facing side of that ministry, but like just tell me internally what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude.
If you ever think you've had a hard lot in ministry, they're like, well, at least that wasn't Ezekiel.
At least that wasn't him. We're good. No, that's great. That's the first one I'm pretty sure I've had Ezekiel on. So no, I love it. I'm a fan. Which is great because the past couple ones that I've been doing is some that I have not heard for a hot minute. Most we get is like, and they're all great. It's like Moses. What was another one? Elijah and Peter are really good ones. Which I'm just like, these are great. But I like the Ezekiel one.
Yeah, I want to go a little bit outside the box.
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I'm a big worship person. I love it. It's a part of the ministry that I get to do. But what is just a go-to worship song that you just really like right now? And you might not really listen to that much worship music.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I don't listen to as much music, probably. Certainly not as you listen to, since you're a music guy.
Yeah.
But so I'm currently, right, it's Christmas time, so we're a fan in our house of Andrew Peterson, singer, songwriter, storyteller.
Yeah.
He has a Christmas musical, and I even hate to use that word because it brings to mind something that it's not. But it's called
musical. It's over.
That's right.
Get out.
It's called "Behold the Lamb," and it just tells the story of the birth of Jesus from the perspective of the Old Testament moving forward. So it starts with God's liberation of the Israelites and moves forward.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. That's a show we like to go to or watch.
No, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll check that out for sure. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will come right back with our last segment, just looking ahead what ministry looks like going forward, and we will be wrapping it up from there. So we'll be right back after this.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply is your go-to destination for top quality mobile home parts and supplies in Clanton, Alabama. Conveniently located at 14023 County Road 29, just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs. All conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience.
All right, we are back with Faith on the Ground. Can't talk. It's okay. And we're just looking ahead at just ministry and what that's looking like. But what are you just currently praying for within your ministry? Just things coming up, or
Yeah. One thing, and I've prayed this regularly and want to keep praying it, but even is just for our prayer life as a church. This was
good.
something that God really convicted me of, brought to mind towards the end of 2020. But just even the place of a prayer meeting in the church, and then, I mean, the prayer is like breathing to not only the individual Christian, but also to the church as a whole.
yeah,
So easy for us to do these things, especially in the United States where we've got resources. And if you think about it, we can do most of what we do without even really asking God for help.
yeah,
And so what happens is then, one, that vine doesn't really grow on the trellis because we're not doing the thing that actually requires the growth, which is calling out to God.
yeah,
So just that we as a church would become more dependent, and that would express itself in more prayer together.
yeah,
And even us as leaders figuring out, okay, how do we cultivate that? Where do we create space for that?
yeah.
But just that we as a people would be praying more.
Yeah.
So that'd be one thing.
No, I love it. And I think that's something that we all need to be doing more. And I think we try to do, you said, we just have so many things that are accessible and that we can just kind of get on our own, or we feel like we can.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of get in that mindset of just like, we can do this without prayer, you know? And I think I like how you kind of put that. It's like, we still need to lean on him during those times. And so, no, I love it. And so this kind of goes into that, but what's a dream that you just have, for the next season of your church, your ministry as a whole?
I think we're starting to see this, but it's really just the continuation of some of the things I've already mentioned to a greater degree. So, a few years back, I shifted my focus to say, okay, who are the handful of men that I'm going to invest in?
Yeah.
But with the goal of seeing those same men then invest in the lives of others.
Yeah.
And that is happening. And really, I just want to see a church, and we want that to happen for the women as well, but that we would just be a church full of those kinds of disciple-making relationships.
Yeah.
Where it's less about the big and flashy stuff and just more about, these people investing in the lives of others, both inside and outside the church, just so that would just keep growing and growing and growing.
What was it that just kind of made that shift? I know this is not a question, but just like that kind of just made you just kind of go from, all right, this is the decision we're going with.
Yeah.
We need to grow this.
Yeah. There was it's kind of a series of moments, but I would lead men's Bible studies from time to time. And I realized that as much as I enjoyed that and the guys doing that enjoyed that, I didn't see it moving beyond me. That it seemed like, okay, formal ministry is stopping with me. If I get hit by a bus or I have a heart attack tomorrow, then what? Of course, God can carry it on. It's not like it, it's necessary for my plan to be executed. But I just realized, like, okay, there's only one me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be ineffective at influencing all of these people in a super impactful way.
Yeah.
So how do I make the most of my time? And that was kind of the initial thought about it. And then just, in 2020, recognizing that that was actually, I know that was a very hard year for lots of people, and it was hard for people within our church, but that actually ended up kind of being a good year because it cleared the deck and enabled us to be like, okay, let's only bring back what is most necessary to make this happen.
Yeah.
And along with that, I've got elders, working with me that enable me to focus in that way.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the process, just realizing like I want to replicate me.
Yeah.
I can't replicate everything about me, but I'm not the only one. And when you look at the ministry of Jesus, yeah, he taught thousands.
Yeah.
But he invested his life in 12, and then more particularly in 3. When you look at Paul, yes, he planted churches and he preached to crowds, but he invested his life in Timothy and Silas and Barnabas and Luke, and he even tells Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, what you've heard from me, entrust to faithful men who are able to teach others also.
Yeah.
So I talked about this with our elders and deacons this past Sunday, but just that it's like the best pyramid scheme ever. So, Paul tells Timothy, just keep going.
Right.
Whatever you heard from me, look at these other guys and give it to them.
Right.
With the expectation that they'll give it to others. I want to see that happen in the church.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. So what, just kind of going off this and just, since you've been in ministry and since you've been doing what you're doing, what is something that you would just tell yourself first starting out? Like when you first started ministry, hey, don't do this. Or, or do it this way, or try this, or whatever it might be. It might be what you said about just doing too much, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would tell young me to be patient.
Yeah.
Walk with God. That'll be far more important than anything else. If I could have convinced me at 22, 23 years old to be more devoted to prayer than I was, but that just sense of like, be patient, walk with God. A good finish is better than a good start.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's good. And I think being patient is that's a huge one for a lot of folks. And I think that's a really just good thing just to kind of go off of, truly, in everything that you do, because I think we could expect so much, just especially in that time. Just like, come on, we got this. It's going to happen. So no, I love it. And so last question for today, what is something that just the community, us, whatever, could be praying for you, just praying for you personally and your ministry right now?
Yeah. So those same things that I mentioned earlier, that culture of life on life disciple making would permeate the church, would keep kind of growing, that the vine would keep growing up the trellis. And very practically, we need wisdom on where to, if the Lord continues to add to our number, we need places to put people.
Yeah.
And so, how do we best do that? For a church of 120, that's confessing adults, that's not their children.
Right.
So you add children to that, larger than that, but it's just like, how do we fund and grow the building space so that we can continue to
for
use
sure.
it. Yep.
No, that's great. And for sure we'll be praying for those things. But man, no, I just want to thank you so much for coming on
thank you.
to the show, man. You do a lot in the community, and it's seen, and we all see your heart and what you do and why you're doing it. And so, no, I just wanted to just honor you in that way, just for coming on the show and just talking. And but no, thank you so much. But thank you guys for checking in this morning with Faith on the Ground. We'll be back next Tuesday at 10:30. And you can check this out on Facebook. You're probably already watching on that, or YouTube as well. So go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. But no, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.